we're going to review graphing using intercepts. So if you remember, intercepts are where the line crosses the x and y axis. So if I have a line that goes like this, where the line crosses my x-axis is my x-intercept, and where my line crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. Now what you may notice is here at my x-intercept, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my y value is 0. Every single x-intercept has a y value of 0. Then I'm going to look at my y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every y-intercept has an x value of 0. And that's going to come in handy, that knowledge. So when you're trying to graph using intercepts, you're going to make what I call a teeny tiny table. So instead of making a big table with all of those different x values that we use all the time, you're going to make a small table. In one of your x values, you're going to have 0, because we know we need to find a y-intercept, and at every y-intercept, x is 0. And in your table, you'll give y a 0 in a separate row, because every x-intercept has a y value of 0. So every time you're trying to graph using intercepts and you have an equation, you're going to make a table that looks exactly like this every single time. So now there's two different ways to fill out your table. The first way is to do exactly what we do with every other table. I'm going to substitute this value in for x. So I'll have 4 times 0 plus 2y equals negative 12. 4 times 0 is 0. So really, all I have is positive 2y is equal to negative 12. So I can divide both sides by 2, and I'm left with y equals negative 6. So when x is 0, y equals negative 6. Now I'm going to plug 0 in for y. So I have 4x plus 2 times 0 equals negative 12. 2 times 0 is 0, so I just have 4x equals negative 12. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I get x equals negative 3. So when my y value is 0, x equals negative 3. There is a little shortcut to help you if you don't feel like you need to write this all down. If you noticed, when x was 0, this 4 times x just kind of went away, because 0 times anything is 0. So when you are trying to substitute in 0 for x, you can kind of take your equation and cover up the piece with x. So now all I have is 2y equals 12. And you can do some mental math if you'd like. If 2y equals negative 12, then y must equal negative 6, and you can fill that piece in your chart. You can do the same thing for y. If you noticed, when y was 0, this piece kind of went away, because anything times 0 is 0. So when you're in your head substituting 0 in for y, you can cover up this piece of your equation, and now you have 4x equals negative 12. If 4x equals negative 12, then you can use mental math to figure out that x would equal negative 3. So if you feel like you have really strong mental math and you don't want to write this down, you can use the cover-up method. If you don't feel like the cover-up method makes sense to you, absolutely write them both down and solve them out on paper. Okay? So now that you have found your two intercepts, what do you do with them? So our two intercepts were 0, negative 6, and negative 3, 0. So I'm going to go to my 0, negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my y-intercept. And my x-intercept is negative 3, 0. So we go 1, 2, 3. So now I have 2 points that I know are on the same line. So now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw my line. Make sure I have arrows both sides. And that's how you graph using intercepts.